Star Wars 7x7, episode 2162. Another bit of a different episode today, if you will. So, there are protests going on, not just in the United States, but in other countries as well. And today I wanted to focus on one happening in London in support of Black Lives Matter and in honor of the memory of George Floyd. Particularly why, as Star Wars fans, this is relevant, aside from the fact that this is relevant to all of us as human beings, and Star Wars fans are human beings, but this particular protest featured John Boyega, who of course is Finn in the Sequel Trilogy, speaking very passionately. And here's the particular thing that I want to share with you about this. When it came to our heroes from the original trilogy, Carrie Fisher was the one who stood out in support of women's rights, of feminism, of equality between the sexes. And right now, I think it's very clear that John Boyega is our hero from the Sequel Trilogy, who is going to come out and talk about inequity and inequality in our society. And this time, it's about racial justice. And I'm going to share his words with you here, not just because they're important, but because how deeply emotionally affected I was by it. And not because I'm African American, because I'm not, obviously. And so there's a limit to the ability for me to feel what is actually happening in the African American community. I can academically sympathize with it and empathize with it, but obviously I can't feel it in the same way. That being said, I have been in rooms of hundreds of people where I have given speeches and talks and so forth, and the energy of a room, the emotion of a room is a palpable thing that you as a speaker can absorb. And so when I watched John Boyega deliver his speech, and this is from video from the London Evening Standard, and I will link to the video in the show notes because I really think it's worth watching as well as listening to. I watched this man nearly break down and cry multiple times, and yes, he has his own anger and frustration and sadness, but this is also a man who, in speaking to a crowd of thousands of people, is absorbing and feeling the anger and frustration and sadness of thousands of people all at once and having to hold it together and be inspirational and remarkable for all these people. It is no small thing, and I was deeply affected by it, and I hope that you will be as well.
First of all, I want to thank every single one of you for coming out. This is very important. This is very vital. Black lives have always mattered. We have always been important. We have always meant something. We have always succeeded, regardless. And now is the time. I ain't waiting. I ain't waiting. I have been born in this country. I'm 28 years old, born and raised in London. And for time, every black person understands and realizes the first time you are reminded that you were black. You remember, every black person in here remembered when another person reminded you that you were black. So none of you out there, all those protesters on the other side, protesting against what we want to do, protesting against what we want to try and achieve. Burn you, because this is so vital. Sit down, guys, if you can sit down. If you can sit down. If you can sit down. I need you guys to understand. I need you guys to understand. I need you to understand how painful this is. I need you to understand how painful it is to be reminded every day that your race means nothing. And that isn't the case anymore. That is never the case anymore. We are going to try today. We are a physical representation of our support for George Floyd.
Bang on them! Bang on them! Bang on them!
We are a physical representation on our support for Sandra Bland.
Bang on them!
We are a physical representation on our support for Trayvon Martin. We are a physical representation of our support for Stephen Lawrence. For Mark Duggan. It is very, very important that we keep control in this moment and we make this as peaceful as possible.
Exactly.
We make this as peaceful and as organized as possible. Because you know what, guys? They want us to mess up. They want us to be disorganized. But not today. Not today. Not today. You know what? This message is specifically for black men. Black men. Free. Black men, we need to take care of our black women. We need to take care of them. They are ours. They are our hearts. They are our future. We cannot demonize our own. We are the pillars of the family. Imagine this, a nation that is set up with individual families that are thriving, that are healthy, that communicate, that raise their children in love, have a better rate at becoming better human beings. And that's what we need to create. Black men, it starts with you. Hey, it's done, man. We can't be trashed no more. We have to be better. Do you not understand? I'm speaking to you from my heart. Look, I don't know if I'm going to have a career after this. Fuck that blood. This today is about innocent people who are halfway through their process. We don't know what George Floyd could have achieved. We don't know what Sandra Blank could have achieved. But today, we're going to make sure that that won't be an alien thought to our young ones. I'm sure you lot came today and you left your kids. And when you see your kids there aimlessly playing, they don't understand what's going on. Today is the day that we remind them that we are dedicated, and this is a lifelong dedication. Guys, we don't leave here and stop, you know. We don't leave here and stop. This is longevity. Some of you are artists, some of you are bankers, some of you are lawyers, some of you own shop stores. You are important. Your individual power, your individual right is very, very important. We can all join together to make this a better world. We can all join together to make this special. We can all join together.
There you go. That's John Boyega speaking at a protest in London yesterday. And again, I'm going to link to the video of this in the show notes so that way you can go see it for yourself. That is going to do it for our episode today. Thank you so much for joining me for it. Remember, Black Lives Matter, and may the force be with you wherever in the world you may be.